Hey guys, it's Vicky. Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking through the ECT induction, or the Early Career Teacher Induction, which has just been announced will be replacing the NQT year for early career teachers just after they've completed their initial teacher training. So in this video I'm going to go through like a general overview of what it is, talk through what you have to do in year 1 and year 2, and then talk about the other people that are involved. So if you're interested, then that's what I'm talking about today. So I bothered to put some makeup on for this today, so you should probably feel a bit special. Okay, so first the really important details. So this comes into force in September 2021. So if you are doing your PGCE like me this year, then you might have already secured a role, or you might be looking for a role. They're normally, most schools are still advertising them as NQT roles, but when you get there, you will actually be an ECT, and the schools are required to follow this new framework. So the aim of the ECT induction is to increase the retention of early career teachers in the profession. I think all teachers know that it's, the retention in this profession is mad, like not a lot of people stay for very long, so they're really trying to increase that. And the ECT induction consists of a framework and resources to better support NQTs and their mentors. So yeah, it's really just that bridge between the initial teacher training and your career, and making sure that you're more supported, I guess, and that you feel like you know what you're doing so that you stay in the profession. So this has actually already started it began in 2020, but only in 3 areas. So in one area of the North East, in Greater Manchester, and in South and West Yorkshire. So I couldn't find any more details, but when I put that post up on Instagram about it that lots of you were really interested in, some people were saying, oh yeah, I did that this year. And I found out that, yeah, that's because they like trialed it for the first year in some places, and now they're rolling it out to everyone. So yeah. Okay, so the ECT is replacing NQT, and there's a few changes that are coming along with that. So instead of the NQT year being 1 year, our ECT years will be 2 years. So again, I guess it's just like about supplying that support, making sure that you really know what you're doing before they just like leave you. Which I guess could be a good thing. In the first year, you have a 10% timetable reduction, and in most schools, you also have a 10% reduction for PPA time, so you should be teaching about 80% of the timetable. And in the second year, you have a 5% reduction, so along with your 10% PPA, you should be teaching about 85% of the timetable, although PPA times, vary in every school, so you should probably check that out. Throughout your years as an ECT, you have 2 formal assessments. One is at the end of the first year and one is at the end of the second year. Now, I couldn't find any details about these assessments anywhere, and nobody seemed to have any information about them, so I don't really know what they consist of. But I'm hoping they're just lesson observations. I don't know if that's just wishful thinking. Also, throughout we have regular progress reviews. I think that's probably with our mentor, or I'll talk about that a bit later. So some important things that you should know is that a qualified teacher cannot be employed as a teacher in a school in England without satisfactorily without completing the induction period. So you have to pass your ECT years in order to be a teacher. And you also only get 1 chance at it. Now, I know that sounds really scary, but there are some extra things you should know to do with that. So there's no set time limit for starting your induction. It's recommended that you do it as soon as you come out of your teacher training. So most people would do their NQT year straight after they finish their PGCE or their BA, or whatever they do for their teacher training. But there's no time limit. You don't have to do it straight away. There's something else I should add here, that your induction period can be extended if there's justification for it. So they said that this could be illness, disability, personal crisis. So yeah, bear in mind that you only get 1 chance at it. So if you need to extend it, then that's probably something you should do. So you don't have to do your ECT years if you work in an independent, an academy, or a free school. So if you're working in any of those and you don't actually have to do your ECT years, So that's what I'm doing. For example, I'm going to work in an independent school. However, I am still going to complete my ECT years because at some point I think I'd like to teach abroad, or what if I wanted to move into a different school that wasn't independent, and then I'd like to have that opportunity and the ability to do that. So maybe bear that in mind. You should also know that you cannot complete your ECT induction in a secure training centre, in a secure children's home, a school requiring special measures, or an institution rated inadequate by Ofsted. But there was also like quite a big section of the document that spoke about an institution rated by inadequate, and there was like a lot of small print involved with that. So I'm going to leave the link below for the document with all of these details and a couple of websites that I used to find all this information. So if you want to check them out yourselves, then go ahead. And finally, something I've got in my notes is that you have to have QTS to complete your ECT induction. So throughout your ECT years, you will follow like a set program, and I have the details here. In your first year, everything that you follow is like set out by the teacher's standards. So in your first year, you have a couple of like, they call them modules, but yeah, and you are focusing on enabling pupil learning, which is standard 1 and 7, engaging pupils in learning, which is standard 2 and 3, developing quality pedagogy, which is standard 4, making productive use of assessment, which is standard 6, and fulfilling wider responsibilities, which is standard 8. It said that throughout you are supported by periods of self-study, which is I guess that 10% of your timetable that you get off, and structured mentor meetings. In our first year, we're meant to get 39 hours of meetings with our mentor. I'll talk about the mentor role a bit more in a bit. And in our second year, we get 20 hours of mentor meetings. So I guess that will be really helpful and supportive, especially if you have a brilliant mentor. And we also take part in a professional development training program during our years. So in our second year, we actually focused on all of the same things, but instead of looking at them, we are inquiring into them. So it says that we are shifting our focus from our own practice to evaluating our impact on pupils' learning. So yeah, during this year we get the opportunity to conduct supported practitioner inquiry to build on our growing expertise. Overall, this like entire scheme seems very flexible, and it says that it allows for personalisation of targets and goals to fit around the workload and school life. So it seems like, you know, they've been quite considerate of all the work that we have to do, although it's not going to be easy. So yeah. And finally, the other people that are involved in your ECT years. So you have an induction tutor and a mentor, and they both have to have QTS in order to have these roles in your induction. So your induction tutor will provide regular monitoring and support and coordinate your assessments. They assess the ECT's progress against the teaching standards. They're also responsible for recognising any difficulties the ECT is facing and update the head on our progress. And then we have the mentor. So the mentor provides regular mentoring sessions and mentor training. So I said earlier that in year 1 that will be 39 hours of mentor meetings, and in year 2 that will be 20 hours. So I think the relationships with these people could be, you know, really important to how well we do in our ECT year. I mean, you obviously want to have a really good relationship with these people so that you're really supported and you feel like you can go to them if you have any issues or difficulties and you need any help. So yeah, they're meant to be 2 different people, but they said again, there's lots of small print about special circumstances and they could potentially be the same person. But yeah, I think it's definitely worth asking any schools, if you haven't already confirmed a job, about what they think about the new induction or how they're going to prepare for it and so on. Asking some questions about that might be really nice, just to know what they think and if they're going to be prepared for it. So I thought I'd add a little bit here about my opinion on it. So obviously I haven't been through an NQT year, so I can't tell you exactly what that's like. However, I do think that they need to support teachers for a little bit longer. So I think that extra year could actually be really helpful in making sure that we are doing everything we're supposed to be doing. Obviously there is a big issue with retention in our profession. So if it's going to make sure that teachers are doing the best job they can be and that they feel more supported, then that can only be a positive thing, right? I wish there was some more details out there about assessment, but I guess being like amongst the first year of people that are going to complete this, then we're just kind of going to be a bit guinea pigs and we'll just have to see what happens. I know that there's lots of us that will be going through this, so we can all support each other. Yeah, I'd love to know what you think about the ECT induction over the NQT. Do you prefer it? Is there something you don't like about it? Leave a comment down below and let me know. Okay, so that is a really quick rundown of the new ECT induction. I hope it's been helpful and informative. I've tried to keep it really short because I tend to waffle. But yeah, I hope it's been helpful. If there's anything else you want to know about it and think I might be of help, then feel free to leave a comment below. I will leave all the links for all the documents below and the websites that I used to find this information, so maybe have a look through those as well. You can also find me over on Instagram and Twitter at Miss Green Teach, and I'm happy to answer any of your questions about anything teacher training, or I mean just about anything related, to be honest. So yeah, you can find me over there if you want to ask me anything. So yeah, I hope this video has been helpful and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.